Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm preparing and giving time to my project, slowly unfolding what it wants to be, what I want it to be, what I want to create, what I want to offer you, and this is where I'm at. So I'm really invested in the whole filming the process, and you might have a lot of videos coming through, and well, if you clicked on it, thank you. You don't have to watch them, but I guess you wanted to. So as I'm giving birth to this notebook project, creativity, adventure, I'm considering all the parts of what it is, what it could be, what is the advice, what is the fear surrounding it. Because yes, there's a lot of fears. There's a lot of stunts to my expression. There's a lot of censorship. There also could be some positioning that just leads me a certain way, but not where I want to go or where it would be best to go. So I'm considering a lot of different things, and I did a Celtic Cross, which is a tarot spread that always involves, well, it's usually 12 cards, but I did ask for some clarification, or sometimes there were more than one card falling. So I wanted to, maybe go through with it, tell you about it, because it's exposing a lot of my insecurities, and I believe that the more I actually am okay with them through the act of filming and talking about it, the easier it gets, and the deeper I can get. And I do believe that there will be benefits for you in watching this, in relating to your own creative processes. As you might know, I was writing a book called Bloom. I'm on my 4th draft. I haven't advanced much with it in a while, and I realized lately that I was at my happiest when I was writing, when I was creating. I was like at my most, the word is escaping, but I was elated. I was elated to create a story, to create a world, to create motives. And it was such a beautiful moment where my mind was fully at all levels focused on this birth of a project. And yeah, I didn't finish it, and I might finish it later. Or maybe it was, it did bring me a lot. It did bring me so much, even though the project isn't finished. And I don't know if that book is worth ever sharing with the world. I know it was worth me writing it, but it also is so personal that I see a lot of blocks to completing it. We'll see. We'll see later what happens. Right now I'm creating something else, obviously, as you can see, which is okay. It's okay. Some people are meant to just work on one project at one time, and some people are meant to have multiple things going on at the same time, or even just the creative process is not just one go and we finish it and we complete it within the year. Sometimes you're just meant to put things on pause and return to it and take a few years, just like the tarot that I've been presenting you, not this one. And I'm going to explain the spread. I do believe it could be interesting. So this is the situation. This is the card that involves, well, sometimes people put this one as a situation, but for me that was the one. I actually selected that card because this is what I'm manifesting. The 4 of Wands is my favorite card in the whole tarot deck. One of them, but yeah. Because to me it means going home, belonging, celebration. It means feeling welcomed, and family, and soul family, not blood family, not a mother, a father, and kids. To me, it is kind of an exaltation of the friendship that we see in the Three of Cups, but like soul ties, like soul family. And that's what that's what I've been praying for. That's what I've been trying to offer to my world and to my people. And this is what I want to create with this. This is not just going to be, an object like a notebook. This is an offering to all of us. This is something that only is represented physically here, but will be a series of videos, will be hopefully a community, will be something that we interact together. This is just a medium for an energy, for a consciousness. And that is an offering of feeling at home, feeling belonging, feeling like part of a chosen family, right? Found family. This is what I've been trying to create since the beginning of my journey through Reiki school. The most interesting thing about Reiki school was not necessarily the daily lessons. It's the community. It's the fact that we are merging, we are communing with one another. Every student became friends with someone out of Reiki school, developed year-long friendships since 2018, 2019. It's been beautiful. And this is what I want to create with everything that I do. And some people partake in it, some people don't. They'd rather be, solo students, and that's totally okay. But I'm always going to put in place a nucleus of belonging in whatever I create. And you're more than welcome to join my Patreon or my Reiki school whenever you want, because that's where you can find your people too. So this is what I want to create. This to me is the Four of Wands. Okay? And how I feel about it, or how the project energy is declaring itself. So all the rest of the cards are cards that fell when I was shuffling the cards. So this is the message from Spirit responding to the Four of Wands is, at present, what you need to do in order to create that belonging is to play. It's to be surrounded with friends or invite friends over and play, be playful. So that led me to record this video and to surround myself in this energy of figuring it out. This is a beginning. This is not I know the truth and this is the truth and I'm the teacher of spirituality. It's no. It's I'm a student. I'm a student interacting with the Akashic records, with the world, with life, with different consciousness, different types of consciousness, angels, trees, plants, fairies, anything that exists and wants to interact with me is my journey. This is what I do. And this is a good reminder that there is so much more richness in seeing this project as a Four of Wands, Three of Cups, as a belonging, soul family, found family, and playful thing than something rigid, which would be, the Four of Wands, the Four of Coins, like this. But it fell reversed, so we'll go into it later. Then when I shuffle cards, so I start from here and then I go like this, and then I go here. So the next card is the Fool. This card slot is for how my subconscious feels about it. And the fact that the Fool fell, which is beginning, which is approaching it as a beginner, as a leap of faith, as being supported by divine. No matter what I do, I can just keep going and close my eyes and trust. I'm just so happy that my subconscious feels like that, right? Because the past of that situation, of how I approached this situation was, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm considering things. I haven't chosen yet. I do not know which way to go. And I'm being as fluid and as malleable as possible, as flexible, as open to things, but I don't know. And I'm also waiting on things. So first I was waiting on the cover because it needed to come to be, right? But I also was in okay, downloads are gonna come, things are gonna come down. So it's not really about me creating the thing, it's more about waiting to receive the information, which, you know, taken at different levels can either be passive and or negative, not that passive is negative, or an interesting and necessary part of the creative process, percolation, just like I mentioned in the first video. You know, things were kind of calming down and arranging themselves, and maybe more things were to come, so it wasn't time to start. So percolation, which is super important in the artist process, in the creative process, to actually have those moments where you do nothing because everything is coming down, inspiration is sort of settling, and you need to create a space where there's emptiness for it to come. So that's the past of the situation, the present, the subconscious. This is my high self. My high self, my hyperconscious, is the wheel of fortune, which means it's destiny. And I mentioned that in the first video. It feels like everything is coming together. All of the different ideas that I've had for decades are now aligning in a way that just works. It just works. It's aligning. It's creating a home for all of the things that I've been collecting. Like I mentioned to you the fact that, yeah, I studied journalism. Yeah, I was creating newspaper when I was a kid. But like when I was 12 and I learned about encyclopedias from the luminaries, the lumineers, we call them the Lumière in French, like Diderot, Voltaire, Rousseau, like all of those philosophers from the 18th century in France. And Diderot and D'Alembert were creating encyclopedias where they were creating plates, which you could see as double spreads, of talking about a certain theme and having illustrations melt with different texts at different sources to talk about that one thing, whether it's, you know, farming or I don't know, anything. It did something to me. When I was 12, I was just like, oh wow. Like I knew encyclopedias because that's all I got as a kid. For my birthdays, I only got like animal encyclopedias. But when I saw that, you know, they were made by humans, right? Pretty obvious. But when I saw like the man behind the encyclopedia, like the concept of regrouping things together and putting it together on one double spread, it did something to me as a kid. I was just like, wow. And this is what I'm planning on doing with this. When I was a kid, I would read all the comics about Scrooge. It's very famous in France. We have like monthly magazines coming out, like 300 pages magazines where it's just comics of Donald, Duck, and Scrooge, and they have those three nephews that are scouts, and they are always reading from that one guidebook that teaches them everything about camping and living in nature and all of the resources that are necessary to make it out. And that to me was it was everything. I was like, I need this book, because I was a scout when I was a kid too, and I was like very Capricorn like when I was in the scouts. Like I needed to get every badge, and I would like be okay, for the next 2 months I need to have the animal badge and I need to have the singer badge, then I can get my flower sewn onto my hat. And this anyway, I just really loved being a scout. And so I really loved those three nephews and their book, because we didn't have a book. We had like tiny leaflets but we didn't have a book, and I always approach my spiritual journey as, oh my God, we need to have that guide to understand how the spiritual dimensions work and how the unseen of this reality, this manifested reality works, because it is just not talked about, and we need to figure it out, because when we understand, it's just so much clearer. I'm going to show you something. I'm such a geek, but anyway, I read a lot, and I've made, every time I highlight things from books, I save them in a file called Library of Alexandria, because I am dramatic and romantic, I guess. And I've been saving them for years, and I recently printed them all out. And I've got this and this ring binders made out of all of the quotations from all the spiritual books that I've been reading. And this is actually 2/3, because at some point I was like, this is costing me too much in ink and paper, and I also don't have space in those binders anymore. So I really love reviewing all of those quotes and being inspired by them and creating meditations for you or for Patreon. And I plan on gathering the best of the best from this, and the best of the best from my Reiki school, and the best of the best from all of my workshops about transpersonal chakras, about the chakras, about anything that I've ever created, light language, Akashic records, channelings, and to put them here, and to have this as truly a repository of everything that deserves to be shared. So it is a magazine, it's a on paper newsletter kind of, and it's a creative project, and it's a passion that's slowly starting. So for me, when I say it's destiny, I know it feels dramatic, but it truly is the blueprint of this. It really feels like Capucine at 7 years old, and I don't want to talk about myself in the third person, but like those different selves that have existed and are connected by having the same heart and the same lungs and the same a lot of other things have changed within me, so I cannot say my eyes or something. But this little being, okay, this feels no. And the person that I've been across the ages, I've always wanted to create something that now makes sense when it's put in here. And this is 2026, right? But I'll continue this in 2027 and 2028, and like, unless I get tired of it and I don't want to do it anymore and there's no more fire. But right now there's a beautiful fire. So yeah, it feels like I am supposed to create something like that. And this is what I'm doing. The follow-up on the situation that evolved from waiting, not knowing, and then deciding, okay, I want to create something that feels like a found family, that feels like a home, that feels like a celebration, is evolving into another type of 4, which is the Emperor. And for me, the Emperor is usually an energy that I'm not so keen around. It's very divine masculine, but I don't know, it just feels very structured and rigid, which I'm not a fan of. But when that card fell, I heard something else. I heard marching in. This is the notes that I took from the thing. Anyway, marching in. And usually marching in is the Chariot card, number 7. But it just felt like he was saying, enough with the deliberation, enough with the ideation. It's time to actually put some action and to start the first page or the second page, you know, to start the thing. So maybe this video is me procrastinating. No, it's keeping me accountable. This is the card of the advice. This is the hermit. The hermit is someone on a path. He is alone. He is, I mean, you know the archetype of the hermit. But again, those cards said different things. And the hermit said, shine your light, show your path. And so this is me showing my path in this video, for example. It is important that the concept of an encyclopedia is great, but I want it to be also a stream of consciousness, to be showing the human me, figuring out whichever theme, whether it's trust. I don't want to be like, trust is this and this and that. It's like, I believe that trust is this, but I'm also falling into the depths of fear when I consider trust. And I'm also trying to balance out the fact that there's a voice in me that criticizes the act of trusting, because we've been manipulated before. So how do you trust when all you've been told are lies, which is the theme of my previous book. But yeah, you see, I'm here to learn that, I guess, in this lifetime. So there, that card is saying, you know, show us you, which is fun because the Hermit is the Virgo card, and my Virgo, my rising, my first house is Virgo. So I need to be a part of this. This is not just collecting information. This is also sharing the human. And I mean human as in HUE/man. All the U's. Hues. I'm French. I'm bad with H's. The H is silent in French, so we always say histoire or humain. Humain. Je suis un humain. Instead of saying human. History. Anyway, hermit. So, yeah, showing the hues, showing the different variations of myself without any shame, even if some of them are, you know, weak, let's say, when we talk about fear, for example. So show your path, be a part of the equation. Don't let it be a static document, a collection of data. You have to be a part of this. And yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm very excited. This slot is about the perception that others have about the situation. I'm not the one who created the Celtic cross spread. This is just what it is. So perception is both wrestling with things and a new beginning. So thank you guys for having this perception. Very accurate. I am wrestling with things. I am trying to, just deal with all of the inner critics. And trust me, because I'm a Virgo rising, there's a lot of inner critics. I hope I don't sound arrogant. I'm amused in general. I'm amused by my own failings. It's interesting being human, I guess. Then, this is the hopes and fears. Usually it's one card. All here it's just one card, but two fell. So I was like, this is the hope, this is the fear. The hope is to reach that state that the hangman is at, which is to see the world through another perspective. He's upside down. To be still, to observe, to be enlightened, to actually receive so much knowledge from being in that standstill position. It's much like Odin, the god Odin from the Norse mythology, who was tied to Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 days, I believe. And he lost his eye, but he also received the knowledge of the runes, the 24 runes. He received the knowledge of all of the world, because all of the world's wisdom, not knowledge, wisdom, is contained within the 24 letters of the alphabet. That's what the myth says. I'm not going to be, I am really hungry for, not hungry. I want to know. I am a curious person. I just want to know. So I'm down with tying myself to a tree for 9 days if I get all the wisdom in the world. I'd rather keep my 2 eyes, please, but I want to know things. Okay, that's my hope. That's my goal. I want to, it's not even knowing, I want to remember. And that's, because knowing, understanding, I want to understand. Okay, better word. I want to understand, because for me to understand is to see truly what is, and to love, and to be part of the dance. Because when I'm confused, it feels like I'm outside. I'm being rejected from the dance of life. So for me to understand something is to be included and to be a part of the chosen family or the whole of life, and to love and be loved. So this is, all of this quest to, this whole spirituality quest is about being included. And when I tap into the Akashic Records, it's always, first and foremost, a sense of being at home with the divine and to be included and to be loved. The first weeks of me channeling the records for the first time in 2018, I believe, I was never receiving any word or downloads. I was just loved. Like the Akashic Records appeared as a big dragon, and they put their wing, they were sleeping on the floor, and they would just open their wings for me to cradle next to them and sleep under their wing, and I would be showered in love, and I would receive a love like I had never had. And it was like that for weeks, and I would never be like asking questions, receiving answers, which is usually what people do when they're channeling the records. It was just about being loved. So for me, that's the hope, that's the quest, that's the whole. The fear is the Page of Pentacles, and for me, what I received instantly is I'm afraid of being perceived as a page, as a child, as a youngster, as someone that doesn't know anything. And when you are, I've been sharing a lot of spiritual things for years now. I'm okay with being a student. I know that I'm teaching things, but I don't want to be an authority, right? I don't want to be this Hierophant card. I don't want to be this I have a dogma and I know stuff, which is usually what people would love to pretend in order to amass more people around them and be more successful. So I've become comfortable with figuring it out, still figuring it out, even though it's been, it's been 10 years now. My spiritual path started 10 years ago. I'm still figuring it out, and I know that this is telling me you're actually opening yourself more and more and more to, again, the beginner, to figuring it out, to still be learning things that you've integrated a few years back, and going through, time is a spiral, so you're still going through similar episodes, even though you've learned and you've integrated and you've processed a lot of things. You might be going through the same loops again and again because there's higher levels of understanding that could be brought. So being more okay with the fact that I'll be at the beginning of something and at the end of it for life. That is a loop that I will both be someone that might have understood some stuff and still has a lot to understand. Okay, and this is the outcome. So the moon fell first, and I was quizzical because I was like, what do you mean the outcome of me sharing this is the moon? And the card told me, you're opening yourself. You're literally showing others, your found family, a more vulnerable part of yourself, which is extremely helpful for other people, even though it might be a bit tough for you because you're a Scorpio, you have a shell, you protect yourself. I'm pretty private. Yes, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm very private with my own personal journey. And this opening, this showing of yourself under a more vulnerable light, a different light, just a different light, which is the moonlight, the lunar energy, the lunar essence, is going to be enriching for both me and the collective that witnesses this project. So thank you for that. I'm looking forward to it. And does that mean I'm getting a second dog? Because I have a white dog. Am I getting a second dog? I'm upward. Earl Grey. Sorry for the drinking sounds. I asked for clarification because I don't know, that wasn't as developed as what I just shared with you. So I wanted a clarification, more cards, because the outcome is just this, me opening myself to you. Actually, I didn't have that information when I asked that clarification. I just got the moon. I was like seeing under a different light and sharing of myself under a different light. And so the clarification that came was straight and the 4 of coins reversed. Okay? So for straight, I heard you're creating a soulmate. You're making a soulmate, which is this consciousness, this project, this child of yours. You're giving birth to something that might already exist in the ethereal dimensions, but you're making it real, and it's going to be beautiful. And the four of coins means no stinginess. Share the wealth. Whatever you've acquired through all of those channelings and meditations, a lot of them I don't share because I'm honestly a bit quizzical sometimes about what I'm receiving, because some of them are secret codes, sacred, and I'm not allowed to share them. Okay, there's that dimension of things that Spirit is like, here you go, but don't tell anybody. And I'm like, thanks. But there's also things that I'm receiving that I don't even know how to translate. And that's why video is so helpful. It's so helpful to share within the form of video. And that's why I have my Patreon and my Reiki school and everything, because it's just easier to speak, because it feels like I'm speaking from the heart, and it just goes much more easily than trying to write things down, which means using the mental. So this book is always going to be also a series of videos, just to make sure that everything gets shared. And also, I do believe I have karma of having a past life. Oh my god, my body is like, the clear sentience is like, woo. Okay, I'm shaking. I have a past life where I knew stuff and I didn't share it. I don't know why. I believe that there were, I know that some of it were past lives where I was not allowed to share because it wasn't safe. But I also believe that there must be a past life where there was a spiritual ego and being like, I'm not sharing because I can make myself richer, or not richer. I actually feel like I could make myself feel more important if I'm the only one who knows. and we're trying to clear that karma here. That's what the project will be also about. Share the wealth. So I'm figuring it out live with you. I'm going to press play on this iPhone every time there's a fear that's stopping me from creating this. So it might be messy videos, but I really want to, just share the creative process as it happens, because I don't want anything to be stuck and to be rigid, where this is stuck and rigidness and keeping a form true, and this is the opposite of that, right? We have to stay flexible. So that's where we're at. I hope you like it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I did everything but open the notebook. Good job, Gepsine. Thank you for being here. And I hope that I didn't sound too arrogant. I'm just French, to be honest. No, but when I get excited, I'm just excited, and it comes through. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we tell women that they're arrogant when they're just being human. And I got really a really bad comment recently that I don't think I deserved, but it kind of affected me, and I hope that I was humble enough in this video. But I'm excited. It's going to be great. All right. Thank you for being here. And I hope that you also have a creative project, or that this encourages you to have a creative project. And I hope that you will share that with us. And if that helps you to keep yourself accountable, to put a comment and share what you're working on, or what you're picking back up, or what you're looking forward to create, or what you're inspired by, leave a comment. Let me know. I'll personally motivate you and encourage you to, go forth with it. I'm available for Akashic Record session. I'm available for different readings and healings for you and or your animal. I do animal communication within the Akashic Records, and we offer them healing, and it's really transformative. And I really, really, really encourage you to consider booking a session with me and or joining my Patreon, because we have fun. We have so much meaningful ceremonies of healing on Patreon. Take care.